Cradle, The Rise of the Chosen, Chapter 11, Part 2. Logiko, are you really a virgin? She asked. His heart started thumping, not because he was ashamed of telling her the truth, but because he feared what her answer might be when he returned the question. And of course, this was bringing that whole trial sensation of suffering back. His heart would just not calm down, so he stopped his hand from shaking before it was apparent and took a casual sip of tea. Difundi, I am a virgin. She smiled and looked down into her cup. Aola, Iort, Aola Tilu. I know you won't believe me. I am too. Etol? How old are you? He asked. 25, Queen Gianoa answered. There was an awkward silence. Munji, Uyai, how did you do it? Takuma asked. Girti, Ayol, Nigua, Yuti, Fiji. It was always in the back of my head. It had to be the right one, she answered. Takuma had to breathe gently or he would stiffen until it was apparent. The palace, Queen Gianoa's palace, was visible on the shore from the ship. The most distinct feature was the grand dome of the atrium. It was earthen color but reflected pink from the setting sun. There were other lower buildings around with columns of beige stone and some small pyramids of glass. Takuma was taking the docking all in on the deck. It was in awe of Gianoa's grandeur palace. As he walked by her side down the gangplank to the shore, he smiled as her assistants greeted her with praises and welcoming gestures. They seemed happy to see Takuma too, yet they had no idea who he was to their queen. Children played around the trunks of tall palms, and older men in khakis and Pt2, white linen shirts, were walking and smoking cigars, and they nodded at Gianoa pleasantly and some bowed. At the palace entrance, on the inner front yard, past the granite arches, flamingos stood in the ponds and peacocks strutted on the grass, sometimes pecking the ground for food. Yortil, Monty, follow me, honey, Gianoa said. They walked through villas, yards, and floral corridors and into the small residential square with yellow buildings, a bell tower, and an outdoor dining area and kitchen. She led him to what looked like a small city house. Iriti, to you, Jukilio, this is your house for now, Gianoa said with her long brown arm outstretched to the building. She kissed him on the cheek and said, Aioli, hitiri kula dide. I'll come get you for dinner in 2 hours. Inside his house, there was a tall ceiling in the foyer, and there was a plush white carpet on the first living room area. He walked under the second floor open hallway and saw the kitchen had a wood fire stove with a grill on the top, an ice locker for meat which she wouldn't need, and nice flowing water system. There was a lounge room beyond the kitchen with plush floor pillows and patterned blankets as curtains. He made his way back to the foyer and up the stairs, and the first door on the left was the neat, marble-clad chamber pot bathroom, and down the hallway there was only one door. He opened the black double doors, and there was a massive bedroom with 11-foot windows and streaming silks around the bed in the center of the room, bordered with a circular swath of black carpet and gold carpet surrounding that. He jumped on the bed and accidentally fell asleep while he was thinking about his fiancée. He had dinner with Queen Gianoa in her outer apartment, and they kissed a few times and thought he'd better leave before they jinxed their wedding. And so, after lounging a bit in his den, he went for a pleasant night walk around the city of the palace. Few people were out, but the lights on the buildings were purple and blue, and it gave off peaceful energy he could sense in his interior. Also, there were many bright stars in the sky as he could hear the ocean moving just hundreds of meters away. Mintul Peretti, thank you, Father. It was a pleasant enough breakfast with Gianoa, her father, Muriel, mother, Jishnupi, and brother, Bol. That was until Gianoa told them Takuma and her were getting married in a few days. Jiku, Ayoluiti. Over my dead body, Bull yelled and swung an arm on the table, knocking drinks, plates, silverware, and flowers in their pots to the ground. Diglu, you kill! He's a loser, Bull retorted. Myrtle got up and put an arm around his son and led him away as calmly as he could. Gianoa was furious, but she was holding it all in with a clenched fist. Takuma kept his eyes low and rubbed his fiancé's knee. Finally, she clasped hands with Takuma. Muriel came back and walked over to Gianoa and rubbed her shoulders. Aishti, Hikilui, Noiti Sia Dui, come with me and talk to your brother. Takuma nodded and Gianoa squeezed his hand and left dutifully with her father, leaving Takuma alone with Jishnupi. Jik utuit bini? So you're poor, she said like she was bored. Jinti, only in money, Takuma said and laughed. She didn't seem to hear him. Naetium hajimili bniitui. Why don't you get yourself a nice poor girl, she asked and sipped her orange juice. Ayoluyumu jinitumi Gio. I am marrying Gianoa, he said stiffly and plainly. She gave him a dead, cold stare and then shrugged and sipped some more of her orange juice with affluent grace and then blew her nose on the white cloth napkin and said, Suji, Iolti, Juliman. Just don't ever come to me asking for money, she said. Ao, Noti, Tiji. I won't, he said, smiling and looking straight at her. Muriel came back to the table from the palm grove up the ledge leading to the palace. He sat, and Jishnupi barely acknowledged him. She picked at her eggs and stared to the horizon in utter boredom. Dintu, Aldliji, all for the likes of you, huh? Said Gianoa's father. Takuma grunted, not sure if he was joking or insulting him. Jinutili, Niniman, Giri, Ayuman? Do the other girls in your family only eat plant-based? Asked Muriel. Takuma simply stared at the man. Muriel gave a defiant smirk. Fuji, Jukfui, Bininua, I get your panties in a bunch? Asked Gianoa's father and smirked again, staring at Takuma while he took a sip of champagne. Kyo, Kioli, Ayut, Sitiyu, Jikuli. I don't care who you are. You don't talk to me like that, Takuma said, controlling his fury. Miolti, Ulito, Hijiman, Antio, Jisini, Ayoti, Aoti, Ayulau, Winstis. Thank you. Took you long enough. Make sure you never make my daughter wait that long. Muro said and threw his napkin on his full plate. He walked over to Takuma and offered his hand. They shook, and the man slapped Takuma hard on the shoulder. Wonderful eyes, the man said and walked away.